This is Yin. And these are conversations about discipline, direction, and identity, and how they quietly shape who you become. If you care about moving through life with intention, you're in the right place. If you're not there yet, but you want to be, then stay. But if you're looking for shortcuts, noise, or motivation without responsibility, then you're in the wrong place. And that's by design. Now, for those of you who are still here, this is where the work begins. In today's conversation, we're going to talk about restraint and what restraint truly means. You see, restraint is not discipline, it's not time management, and it's not some productivity hack. Restraint is courage, the courage to disappoint people, the courage to be misunderstood, and the courage to protect what the universe gave you, your time, your energy, your life, even if people will think that you're lazy. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You're not overcommitted because you're ambitious. You're overcommitted because you're afraid of what people will think if you say no, afraid they'll see you as less, afraid they'll think you're not a team player, you're not helpful, or you're not grinding hard enough. So you say yes to everything, to everyone, and you call it hustle. You call it building. You call it being there for people. But really, you're just scared of judgment. And that fear is costing you everything that actually matters. Restraint, not the polite version, the real version. What are you willing to say no to, even if it costs you someone's approval? Here's the lie that we've all been told. Being available makes you valuable. If you respond fast, if you show up to everything, if you say yes to every request, people will respect you. They'll need you, and they'll see how hard you work. But that's not what happens. What happens is you become the person everyone uses, but nobody respects. Because when you're available to everyone, you're committed to no one, including yourself. Think about the last week. How many times did you say yes to something that didn't matter? Someone asked for 5 minutes and you gave them an hour. Someone asked for a favor and you rearranged your entire day. And here's the question. Did they even notice? Did they thank you? And did it change anything? You're not being helpful. We're just scared of the judgment that may come with the no. Because saying no requires you being okay with someone possibly being disappointed. And most people would rather burn themselves than feel that discomfort for 5 seconds. But here's what you're not seeing. The people who actually matter, they respect the no more than the yes. They respect boundaries. They respect focus. They respect someone who knows what they're protecting and won't compromise it for approval. When you say no, you're protecting your most valuable asset, and that's your time. We love to act like we have unlimited time, like we can always get to the important thing later, after this favor, after that meeting, after you help the person who doesn't actually need your help. But you don't have unlimited time. Every hour you give away to something that doesn't matter is an hour you're stealing from something that does. And you can't get it back. The universe gave you a finite amount of energy, a finite number of hours, and a finite capacity to do meaningful work. And you're burning it on bullshit. How many times have we gone to funerals and we say, you know what? Life is short. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to start putting my time to the meaningful work. And then a week later, you're back to burning your time on bullshit, on projects that don't move the needle, on relationships that drain you, on opportunities that sound good but pull you away from what you're actually trying to build. And the worst part, you know it. You feel it. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you feel in your body that tightness, the resentment, the quiet voice saying, this isn't it. But you ignore it because saying no feels worse in the moment. I have learned this lesson the hard way. I have said yes to more things than I can count, and it has cost me money, time, and more importantly, experiences that I can no longer get back with people who are no longer here. The big things, the things that actually make a difference in your life, they require concentrated energy, deep focus, and sustained effort over time. You can't build something meaningful in the margins. You can't change your life with whatever's left over after you've given your energy to everyone else. Restraint is knowing that your time is sacred and not everyone deserves access to your time. Every yes pulls you in a direction, and most of the time, it's not your direction, it's someone else's. Their project, their timeline, their energy, their vision for what you should be doing with your life. And you go along because you don't want to seem unhelpful or difficult or like you're not a team player. But here's the truth. If you don't protect your direction, nobody else will. Nobody is going to stop asking you for things just because you're busy. Nobody is going to protect your vision just because it's important to you. That is your job and only your job. Restraint, real restraint, means being willing to let people think you're selfish or difficult or less than because the alternative is spending your entire life building someone else's dream while yours dies in the back of your mind. I'm going to say it for you one more time. Real restraint means being willing to let people think you're selfish. Let people think you're difficult and let people think you're less than. Because the alternative is spending your entire life building another person's dream. How many of us have built another person's dream while ours died? A slow, quiet death in the back of our minds. You see, the strongest people I know aren't the ones doing the most. They're the ones who've learned to say no without apology. No to the favor that doesn't serve them. No to the relationship that drains their energy. No to the opportunity that looks good but takes them off course. They've learned that protecting their direction is more important than protecting someone's opinion of them. They have learned that protecting their time makes them more valuable. And that's restraint. Restraint is strength, but it's not the kind of strength people celebrate, not the kind that gets you applause or recognition. It's the quiet strength, the strength of knowing what matters and protecting it, even when it costs you approval. It's the courage to disappoint people, to be misunderstood, to look lazy to people who are sprinting in the wrong direction. Here's what I want you to sit with this week. What are you saying yes to out of fear? What would you protect if you weren't afraid of being judged? What direction are you being pulled away from because you won't say no? Remember this. The universe gave you this life, this time, this energy, and you're the only one who can decide what it gets spent on. Most people will waste it trying to please everyone, trying to look busy, trying to avoid the discomfort of someone thinking less of them. But you're not most people, or at least You don't have to be. So this week's challenge, before you say yes to something, I want you to pause. Ask yourself, does this move me forward? Not, is this nice to do? Not, will this make someone happy? And not, does this sound good? Does this actually move you closer to what you're trying to build? If the answer is no, say no. Not maybe, not later, no. And then sit with the discomfort of someone potentially thinking less of you. That discomfort, that's where the strength gets built. Restraint is how you protect what matters. It's how you build something real. It's how you become who you're meant to become instead of who everyone else wants you to be. This is yin. If this resonated, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not everyone, just someone who's ready. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Yin Worldwide Podcast. And if you want to go deeper, visit our website at www.liveyin.com. That's www.liveyin.com. Subscribe if you're committed to the work. If not, that's fine too. This isn't for everyone. Remember, move with intention.